Bryan, so if there's a young guy that he wants to be a professional golf player, what would be the first steps? Do you think would be, I mean, I don't know if there's high school golf. Is there high school golf?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be high school, college, and professional, or there is other amateur golf that you can make a pro. How does that work?
Well, if you want to get better, you have to compete, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go out and play with your brother or your sister or your mom and dad. I mean, that's fun, certainly, but you've got to compete against other players and better players to get better. So let's say you're on the high school team. Okay, so you have your high school golf season. Well, in the summertime, you better be competing in other tournaments with other juniors, right? So you're trying to play against a player who's better than you. So I can see what he does and see how good he is or she is and elevate my game. What do I need to work on? Every time I play in a tournament, you figure out real quick how good you are and what you need to work on, right? Oh man, my chipping was terrible today, right? Oh, my putting, I 3-putted, 3 times. I can't do that. I got to work on my long putting. I didn't reach par 5s and 2, and the guys I was playing with were reaching them, and they made birdies and I made pars. So how do I get a little longer? How do I work on my speed training? How do I work on my fitness? How do I eat healthier? Things like that are going to make me better. So you find out real quick how good you are.
Yeah. So on the fitness, that brought me to attention. So the fitness, so a good golf player needs to be like skinny or what's the good fitness level for a golf player?
Well,
like you need to be strong, you need to be fast, you need to do cardio.
Yeah.
Does cardio make any difference in golf?
Those are all great questions, and I think when growing up, they all probably looked like me, shorter and stockier, right? And now they're tall and lean and athletes, real athletes, and where they're working out and working at it hard, and they've got all these golf fitness exercises to work on your speed and your muscle, the muscles you're using for golf. So yes, no different than any other sport. Football players are working on that burst
Explosion.
Yeah, that explosion speed. I'm sure tennis players are doing, what it takes to get better at tennis.
Change directions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, flexibility is pretty key with a good golf stroke, right? I mean, you got some guys, I guess some buddies, very strong, can barely put their arms down. Well, they go to swing a golf club, there's not much they can do.
Yeah.
So there is flexibility. And as silly as it sounds, cardio too. I mean, you play 18 holes and maybe go play 18. We've all played 36 in a day or something, and then you go play 18 the next day, and you're like, gosh, I'm sore. And you're in the golf cart. You might not even necessarily walked.
Well, what's funny is bending down, on the green, marking your ball, your knees get sore, right? So imagine a catcher catching 9 innings. I mean, I can't imagine how sore their knees must be. It's just amazing that they can do that. But, like Lauren's saying, you play 18 holes and I'll find my knees get sore the next day. My back gets sore, your shoulders get sore, your neck will get stiff. I mean, you're putting a lot of torque on your body to produce those swings. And you're swinging, think about it, you're swinging the club over 100 miles an hour, right? So, you do the math on that, and there's a lot of torque.
70 times.
Exactly. Yeah, 70
You know
times.
what I mean?
Plus all the practice swings and warm up and everything else.
Right.
So yeah, there is a toll that's on your body, and you're seeing even younger players knee injuries and back injuries and shoulder injuries and wrist injuries, elbow. There's a lot of torque when you hit the ground. If in slow motion, you just see all the vibration that goes on in your body. Imagine on a header, right, in soccer. Imagine if you slow motion a header, boom, man, the vibration that probably goes through your body doing that. I'll just do that 70 times a day. I mean,
sure.
Yikes.
For sure.
Yeah.
I see that you're wearing the PGA stuff. What does it take for someone to be part of the Professional Golfers Association?
That's a great question. So a young person who wants to get into the business, they have to go through the PGA and go through their program. And so it's basic, it's simple. And when you think about it, they have a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. So you purchase, like, it's kind of like going to, I would say, community college. You're purchasing level 1 books, and so they give you books on merchandising, teaching, advertising, all things that are related to small businesses. Really, is what it is. You're just running a small business, and so you have to go through those books. That you have to do work, and then you have to get tested on it. So at the end of the year, you have like 3 years to accomplish this, but usually most people that are serious about it do it in 1 year. Then they go and get tested on it, and then you have to pass the test. And then if you do, then you go to level 2.
Written test.
Yep.
Okay.
Written tests on all that information that they sent you. Then they send you the level 2 information, and you do the same thing. You have to go through all that book work, do all the work on it. And you have to be working under a PGA professional at the time. So you can't be doing this and working at Walmart. You have to be doing this and working at a golf course.
Level 2 only, or all levels?
All levels.
Okay.
All levels. So level 1, level 2, then level 3. Now, during this time, which usually takes 3 to 5 years, I would say. If you're serious about it, you'll be done in 3 years. If you're, lollygag, it might take you a little longer. But during that period of time, that 3 years, you also have to pass a playing ability test. So you have to prove that you can play golf, and you have to prove you can play at a somewhat high level. And that's the only time you're ever tested on your actual golf ability. Once you pass that test, and then you pass the levels 1, 2, and 3, then you're qualified to become a PGA member, and then you're voted into membership. Okay. So it's a process. It's a process. So I did that after college and went through those 3 things, and then passed my playing ability test. It took me 2 times. So, even though I was a good player the first time I did it, nervous, you play 36 holes in 1 day. So you play 18 in the morning, and there's a target score posted for the day that you have to shoot. So you play 18, you have lunch, and then you play another 18. Okay. And the way I kind of figure it is during 36 holes of play, you're probably going to have every shot in golf. You're going to have to hit your tee shot in the fairway. You're going to have to hit a lot of greens. You're probably going to have a short bunker shot. You're going to have a long bunker shot. You're going to have a short pitch. You're going to have a long pitch. You're going to have long putts. You're going to have short putts. You're going to have just about every shot you can imagine, plus the mental strain of 36 holes in 1 day, knowing that this is your career on the line, right? And so you might have 30 people trying to qualify in an event that the PGA puts on, and you might have 1 or 2 pass.
And people are watching? Like you have, I
mean, you can. There's not a lot of spectators for that, but
sure,
you could have some spectators, but that's not really a spectator event. It's just part of the process.
Right.
And it's mentally demanding.
Absolutely.
So I remember the first time, probably shooting 75 or 78 in the first round, and then you're at lunch going, oh my gosh, now I got to shoot 65 in the second round. How am I going to do that? And then the second time I did it, I shot under par the first round, so I shot 68 or something, and so then you can kind of coast in the second round, and you don't have to take chances and things like that, and you can be mentally smarter. But that's not easy to do. I mean, it's a process.
And what are the benefits of being part of the PGA?
That's a good question. We are considered the experts on the game, right? Okay. So that gives me credibility when it comes to teaching Lauren or teaching your youngster or anyone who comes to me for golf lessons. We have to keep up our credentials. So every year, no different than maybe like a physical trainer or something, we have like a point system every year that we have to continue our education with seminars and things like that. So we're keeping up with the latest trends of marketing, management, social media. We're learning about all these things as we go, trying to improve the game, and then promoting it. So we're kind of considered the experts of the game, and I take a lot of pride in it because I've been in golf for 30 years. So to me, it means a lot, and I take pride in it because I keep up my continuing education, and I also compete. I continue to compete, and so for me that's fun because as youngsters playing sports, you know, the competition was what we wanted. You know, we just wanted to beat our buddy no matter what it was at.
Okay.
One thing I always think watching golf on TV, and you talk about playing in tournaments, right, is, I mean, you've given me golf lessons, you know, but like for an amateur to sit there and think like on a tee box, and I mean, there's like 85 people on both sides, like all of you might want to leave, you know, like I can line drive one into you anytime.
Right.
And so I always think in my head, gosh, I mean, even the first time, 10 times, 20 times showing up at these tournaments, at what point does that start to feel more comfortable? Or at least for you. I'm sure everyone's different.
Yes, that's an excellent question. Playing in front of a crowd,
Yeah.
you know, it would be no different if you were playing soccer or if you were shooting free throws in front of a crowd of people that had to win the game or whatever like that.
Right.
You know, they say the tour players, the more that you put yourself in a position to win, right? You might choke this time, you might choke the next time, or somebody might just beat you, right? I played good, but somebody beat me, okay? You get more and more comfortable in those situations. So it takes a while, but you also have to be confident in yourself, right? I like playing in front of a crowd because to me your focus kind of lines up a little bit more. You know, a lot of times you'll have a tendency to maybe daydream or look around, but when there's people watching, you know, you're focused on what you're doing, and so for me, I've always kind of excelled in those situations.
Good.
What would be the next level after PGA? Is there what type of competition you would try to make it to be higher and keep going up?
Yeah. So there's a lot of there's people like me that you know, tried to play professionally, because I played some mini tours when I was younger, when I lived in Arizona, and I would go to California and play in some mini tour events and things like that. And there was a tour in Arizona that I played some events. But, you know, I didn't have any money, and so, you know, that kind of dream ended real quick. And so then I had to figure out how I was going to pay the bills, so it became a job. Then there's people who, like Barry Cheeseman, for example, who played on the PGA Tour, and now he's doing what I do, which is he teaches golf, you know, so he kind of came the other way. You know, I came this way, he came this way. And so for me, you know, the next step to get more competitive would be to try to play in some mini tour events, and then you would graduate to like what they call the Corn Ferry Tour, which is the next level tour, and then after that you'd go to the PGA Tour. But you know, I mean, there's 125 guys in the world on the PGA Tour. I mean, what's your chances of making it? I mean, you know,
In the world,
well,
125.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
That's how many guys make their card every year, right?
Right.
So you know,
Yeah. See, I don't know. I would have thought it'd be more than that, but no. That's
with your like lifetime exemption guys,
Sure.
and Tiger Woods and people like that, you know, maybe that number's 200. But the point is
it's a lot of competition.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And there's the funny part of golf is there is all levels of golfers, right?
yes, correct.
I mean, gosh, I remember when I first started. I mean, you don't even want anyone, like, you know, probably how you felt. You don't want anyone watching you try to hit this golf ball.
Yeah.
And then you start to get a little bit better. So then you go out and play. Well, then you run into maybe some older gentlemen. They're like, oh, you go ahead and play through. And in my head, I'm like, no, because then it means I have to hit in front of you. Like, you guys go, you know. And then you slowly get a little more confident,
Yes.
you know. And then you start doing golf outings and you're playing with groups. And even then, you know, you're first starting off, you're a team. So 3 guys are depending on me to maybe do a good shot here.
Yes.
And then you're going, gosh, I don't know why. They're probably wondering why we bring him today.